Hey everybody, this is LEGO Bionicle's 2016 Summer Villain Quake Beast featuring the transparent purple color, which is awesome. This is an interesting character. If you do not like asymmetry, you really should stop watching this video right now. You probably should have stopped it as soon as it started, as soon as the title screen went away, because this is aggressively asymmetric from side to side. And I like that. I think that it's a brave decision. I think that it makes sense for something that's so corrupted, and the whole idea of crystals growing out of organisms. You know, you kind of got these crystal blades up here, which you could pull one off. You know, they're just the same normal crystal blade pieces that were used last season. You can pull one off and attach it to the hand, which is right now holding onto a mask. And I'll show you the mask separately, but just leaving them there lets them look like they're crystals that are jutting out of the shoulder of this poor tortured thing. I mean, it's got crystal detailing for the print on the body, the main chest armor, and then all this is crystalline over here. These little Borak eyepieces are able to spin around, so if you build this with just a little bit of looseness there, it's able to spin up like that. That's interesting. And you already can surely see that there's a geared mechanism in the shoulder here. Well, you can make the entire side of the body here turn. And that's part of the reason for some of the shaping that they've done here. They've left enough space for all this to move. So it gets a pretty serious punching motion that you get going, which works pretty well. I think that's actually a very good action feature, although it doesn't look that great to me with how much of a gap there is here and how just exposed it is, even from the front. It's also strange that they put a crank on it on the back. I'm glad that they didn't use a super bright color like red for that, but it looks like something that you would expect to just spin around, just keep going with it, but you don't. You can't. It has to stop. It has to. I think. I guess it's fine. It's just a little bit awkward to me. So some of the specific execution of the ideas here, I think, is a little bit less than perfect, but I do like the idea itself. I also very much like the legs on this one. You know, they did just a little bit of customization just for the lower legs in this case. I wish they had used the black axles, the 3 long axles in black, or 2 long axles in black. But they didn't. I feel like that's just completely unnecessary color shown there. His hand over on this side is good. You can see it's able to hold on to a mask, which is exactly what it's intended to do. And it looks respectable. You know, it just has 3 fingers on it that you can pose up. I think that for a small size, it looks pretty good. Has that good amount of the purple color that's exposed there. Kind of goes through the lower arm there. So I just feel like that's a good look, even though if I look at it a little bit more specifically and more closely and analyze it, I can say, well, why is this so far? It's just it overlaps, or nah. I think it just looks fine and works fine. Again, the body armor, so taking a closer look at the print of that, it's a little bit hidden under there, but I can move the jaw out of the way. That does look a little bit like some graffiti. I don't know why they chose the magenta color there. I don't know why there's this dust hair thing hanging down either. Don't know why they chose the magenta. And with all the neon colors together, it really looks like graffiti. Possibly something from a pack, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something from the 80s. I don't know. It is what it is. It doesn't bug me too much. I do like the design. I feel like the whole idea of crystals in there makes a lot of sense. And these heads do look good, and I think that this one looks good in this color. The color scheme just works together well. I feel like with that print behind there being as bright as it is, it helps the lower jaw to stand out more than it does on some of the other characters. Or certainly more than it could if they left that darker behind there. It is definitely a different color of purple than the transparent pieces. You know, these are more violet, right? They're closer to a blue, or is it an indigo, I suppose? But you know, you can see it's definitely a different hue, but it's not so different that I find it to be jarring. And I am glad that there is some connection between the color that's used up here, with, even though this is an opaque color, but the color used for these crystal blades goes well with the trans neon greenish yellow color that's used for a number of the elements. And speaking of that color, they did an interesting thing with this one of using the exact same color for the brainstalk and the head. You take that off and it just all looks like one crystal skull under there. That is a cool look. That is a really cool look. I like that so very much. It has a little bit of that Halo Promethean, skull when they open up their mask to it. Just, a lot of tropes have kind of followed this general idea, and I think that this is a really good choice. I'm glad that they brought that in and gave us those options. With the mask removed, the main upper headpiece, you can move that jaw, but by default it only has just a little bit of room, and it kind of wiggles around. You can tighten that down to stop that from wiggling if you want to. But overall, I think that this thing looks pretty good. The version of Onua's mask that's included here goes back to his base color and just brings that extreme contrast, very high contrast color. Does look good on Onua himself, I think. I think that yellow works perfectly fine as an accent for this season. It doesn't work entirely well with the light blue, the color of the brainstalk beneath there. There's a little bit of clash between that and the greenish yellow transparent neon color. But overall, I'm glad that they did stick with the black here. I feel like the gold based mask was just going a little bit too far with some of these, and it was just a little bit too gaudy. The height of Quake Beast is either a little bit taller than Onua if you include the protrusions on the top, or significantly shorter. But I feel like there's so much aggressiveness in the look of Quake Beast that I feel like it still looks like it would be a good challenge. Sometimes they do a smaller villain and it just looks like you would easily be able to run over it. But I think part of it is the size of the head and just how aggressive those molds are. It really looks like it has so much pure evil in it, and with this aggressive asymmetry, all of the crystals that are just jutting out from it just looks very dangerous. It looks like there's just so much torture in it and so much power at the same time. So I feel like these look together good on display in that sense. All told, I feel like this is a worthy medium-sized villain. I'm satisfied with the build. I wish that the right shoulder, the one that's able to move, was a little bit better covered up on the inner part where the mechanism is shown. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the color scheme, the stance, the extreme asymmetry of it, and just the general look and the general feel that I get from looking at it. Let me know your thoughts, though. Those were just my thoughts. Let me know what you think, including if your opinions completely diverge from my own. That's great to see. Different people have different perspectives on things, so I look forward to your feedback. I thank you for watching up to this point, and I hope to have a chance to talk to you again very soon in the next video.